they just mix all the teachers from different content areas together. That means what they instruct the teachers to have is kind of general skills and general strategies that they need to maintain when they work with the ESL students. And all the teacher participants of this program, they are supposed to do active interviews. And in their interviews, there are some very positive results because they never say they are kind of content area teachers. They begin to label them as the language teachers. That means this program allowed them to have appropriate language teaching skills. And with these language teaching skills, they can work better. I can't say very well, but better with those ESL students. And they know how to teach vocabulary explicitly. I also want to use the example when we work with the project with the pre-service teacher students here, is that some of the math students, they don't think they need to teach the vocabulary. They think that the students themselves should be prepared for those vocabulary before they enter into the class. So, but after this program, I think if they have got a chance to, participate in this program, they might have the ability to teach the vocabulary, the math terms, which is very important for the students' understanding of those problems. And apply theories into practice, this program gives them this kind of opportunities. So this is a successful training program. And the other training program is a Tuesday Tutor after school program. And actually, this program is a prerequisite course of a university teacher education program. That means before you enter into the program, you need to take this course. Yeah. And this study is to investigate the growing of teacher candidates' beliefs, attitudes, and knowledge about the school-age ELLs in context of an early field experience. Because they have never been trained. They're just fresh. So they just want to report how their beliefs and attitudes changed along with the program. And these Tuesday tutors actually, after school program, actually they assign one student, one pre-service teacher to one English language learner. They just pair one teacher and one English language learner. And then they will work together once a week, every Tuesday afternoon. So that is why it's called Tuesday after school program. And with this tutoring experience, the participants, they took initial, midterm, and final survey. We can just take down, the authors take down how the beliefs and attitudes change along the way. And basically, these participants, they got very positive attitudes toward English learners. They think that they need to be taken care, and they're one of the factors of this classroom. They're very important, so they want to really include those English learners in the regular classroom. They have got positive attitudes. And inside of academic strength and the needs, I mean, they can address what the English learners need, academically, and the social networks. What about their communities, like that, and a fund of knowledge. So this could be considered as another successful training program example. But the limitation of this program, the author think, is that because the participants, they have no teaching experience. They have never been trained from any of the teacher education program. So if the participants of this program will be those students in the program, those students who have got some training background, and they might get better, results on this. And the next category is the things we should know about ESL or ELL teaching preparation. From this research, there are 7 steps to understand English as a second language. So it is very important. To learn English, I am an English language learner. Till now, I still be. and English language learner. So I've got a very strong feeling, and I know what I want, and I experience the difficult role of how I acquire English. So from my perspective, I think the knowledge of second language acquisition is very, very important for the pre-service teachers who are going to potentially work with the English language learners in their future teaching career. Because one of the research says that the teachers, they think that it takes 2 years for a student to manage English. Take 2 years. But actually, the research says that it takes people 7 years to manage a language. So this kind of, the gap between understanding will, give the teachers misconception of those English language learners. And also, some of the teachers, they think that, okay, for example, I'm a Chinese. I'm in grade 2, and the Chinese Mandarin is my native language, and I'm an English language learner. And the teacher will assume that I can read Mandarin, I can read Chinese, but actually it's not. Mandarin, for me, is kind of heritage language. I can speak, I can understand, but I can't read Chinese in academic level. So some of the teachers, the research says that they will just give the students Chinese version of the textbook and let students to study it at home. They think that that is a great support to the students. That these kind of misbehavior is just, because they don't have a very correct conception of second language acquisition. So the terms of English second language acquisition is the first step that you need to get such knowledge. For example, acculturation, additive bilingualism. Anybody knows what does it mean? Additive bilingualism. Additive bilingualism is that a person who is developing English, but he still keep his heritage language. That is additive bilingualism. And you need to know about the federal law, the policy, and any grant opportunities for English language learners, and ESL teaching. And stages of second language acquisition, actually there are 4 main stages: the pre-production, early production, speech emergence, and intermediate production. So if you've got English language learners in your classroom, you need to be patient that actually their language development will experience these 4 stages. And research educational strategies for instructing English language learners, for example, the immersion, which is a very big idea proposed by Swan, a Canadian, right? This program was, the immersion program was firstly implemented in Canada, so to see how it works. And the ESL and sheltered English, which actually came into the SciOp model, which is a very important teaching model here in the United States. And a plan for family and parent involvement, understand cultural differences, and administer appropriate assessment measures. So they are all 7 steps that the teachers should know about the English second language acquisition. And the next one, so we just mentioned about the English as second language acquisition, but what situation, what factors will impact on teachers' concepts of language? So this study is based on that.
Okay.
And this is a qualitative study. The data is teacher candidates' blogs. And 15 out of 150 teacher candidates, they agreed to participate in this study. And each of their blog need 4 contributions. What does that mean? It means that you write a blog and you also need to comment to the others' blogs. So you need to, each blog has 4 contributions. And based on the data analysis, there are 5 factors impact on teachers' candidates' conceptions of language. Their prior beliefs, for example, they just believe that it takes 2 years for a person to manage English. That is their prior belief. Comes nowhere, just assumption. and the interaction with peers via the blog. And for example, I don't know people from Turkey, and I contact to Karen, and she wants to have a Turkish friend, so she just write about what is it like, what about cultural background, and what their pronunciation like. That I get some knowledge from Karen, so their interaction with peers. And of course, textbooks, the textbook tell you what should ESL like. And the lectures given by the teacher educators and the practical experiences. So these 4 factors are the main elements which influence pre-service teachers' beliefs and attitudes toward English language learners. And the other study is preparing teachers of English language learners. In this study, they are the points which the researchers think that it is very important for ESL teacher preparation. So as we can find out that some of the points, they are overlapped with the other 2 studies I just mentioned. So this process allows me to confirm that what I found, these points are supported by a lot of researchers. They all agree that they have got the same conclusion.
This is meta-analysis of a lot of different... Okay.
Yes. And the other category is teacher educators' perspectives and efforts on ESL teacher education. So this research actually, it presented teacher educators' perspectives, which is filling the gaps with the previous research. It is, and I think, according to my review of the literature, actually teachers' perspectives is just quite a few there. You don't have that many. So this research, I think, is very important because it including teacher educators' perspectives on the preparation. And there are 8 teacher educators in this study. It's and these 8 participants, they are not random samples. They are purposely selected. Why? The reason is that because the authors wants to include teacher educators who play different roles, who have got different education level, different age range. They just want to make the participants a little bit diverse. So that is why they selected samples not randomly. And actually, the 8 educators, they are the chair of a committee, or they are the previous head of the department, and they are experienced teacher educators, and they are mentors in the school, so they are just from different roles. Very collective. And the research questions related to this study are based on efforts and challenges. So what challenges do they have to prepare the teachers for their ESL teaching, and what efforts they made to this final goal. And basically their challenges are policy challenges, programmatic structures, hindrance to collaboration, limited resources, limited knowledge base, and experience.
Same as the new teachers.
Yes. But there are large gaps between their realization of their responsibility and their real effort. They all agree that it is their responsibility to help those pre-service teachers to prepare for their future teaching career, but they don't see any effort. The authors didn't see any effort. And the other study I would mention for the teachers' perspectives, teacher educators' perspectives, is how prepared are the U.S. pre-service teachers to teach English language learners? This article. And this study actually it concentrated on the self-efficacy, attitudes, perceived preparedness, and the knowledge of pre-service teachers in the U.S. regarding those isolated English language learners in high school classrooms. And this study is a mixed method study. It's got quantitative part and qualitative part. For the quality part, there are survey on pre-service teachers' attitudes, beliefs, and knowledge of English language issues, and there are even a knowledge test to just test